You're watching the History Fella channel, and in this video we're looking at the Battle of Santa Rosa Island. The Battle of Santa Rosa Island was an unsuccessful Confederate attempt to take Union-held Fort Pickens on Santa Rosa Island, Florida. Santa Rosa Island is a 40-mile barrier island on the US state of Florida, 30 miles from Alabama state border. At the western end stands Fort Pickens, which in the first week of January 1861 had a garrison of only one company, Company G of the 1st Regiment US Artillery. The fort was commanded by Major John H. Winder, a secessionist who would have likely turned the fort over to the rebel government. Instead, Winder and his senior lieutenant were absent from the fort, and so the garrison was commanded by Lieutenant Adam J. Slemmer. Slemmer immediately began to collect armaments from the nearby military posts and prepared to hold out against the growing rebellion. By the fall of 1861, it was reinforced by more men from the 1st, as well as the 2nd and 5th US Artillery and the 3rd US Infantry under command of Colonel Harvey Brown of the 5th Artillery. The 6th New York Volunteer Infantry, commanded by Colonel William Wilson, was encamped outside the fort, a short distance east of it. After battle on October the 9th, Brigadier General Richard Anderson crossed from the mainland to Santa Rosa Island with 1,200 men in small steamers to surprise the Union troops at Camp Brown and, if possible, capture Fort Pickens. He landed on the North Beach about 4 miles east of Fort Pickens and divided his command into 3 columns. After proceeding about 3 miles, the Confederates surprised the 6th Regiment, New York Volunteers, in Camp Brown and routed the regiment. General Anderson had adopted the defensive stance to entice the Federals to leave the fort and attack. Receiving reinforcements, Colonel Harvey Brown sallied against the Confederates, who re-embarked and returned to the mainland. The Union loss was 14 killed, 29 wounded, and 24 captured or missing. General Braxton Bragg and Lieutenant Hamill, commanding the Confederate forces at Pensacola, reported their loss as 30 or 40 killed and wounded, but an undocumented Confederate newspaper found by Lieutenant Seeley a few days after the occurrence gave the total casualties as 175. This claim was likely an exaggeration. Major Israel Vodges of the 1st Artillery was captured, and on the Confederate side, General Anderson was severely wounded. The camp of the 6th New York, which was the main objective of the raid, was largely destroyed, meaning the raid could be deemed a success. If you found the information in this video informative, please feel free to like the video and subscribe to the channel.